anything, that means that you were accepting you're good as you are.
Yeah.
I came on this show, Sal. You done lost about 40, 50 pounds since. I'm not going to put your business out there, but it's good business. My dog done lost 40, 50 pounds since. So you recognized you weren't your best version of yourself. You recognized, you know what? Maybe I need to slim up. Maybe I need to trim up. Cowboys didn't make any changes. So what they are saying is that they are their best version of themselves. What they are saying is that they are capable of winning a Super Bowl. There's a ton of pressure on Dak because all the pressure now says, hey, Dak, we didn't need anybody else. All we needed was your return. So, Dak, if you return and you do not succeed, it's all on you.
You're watching Speak for Yourself, Marcellus Wiley, Emmanuel Show. My dog. Let's get to Jameis Winston, who could follow Drew Brees as the Saints starting quarterback this season. Jameis he's had an up and down career, let's be real about it. And at a football camp that was also attended by Dak Prescott, Jameis let the kids know about his journey. Take a listen.
I went from being a #1 draft pick to being everybody laugh at me. But guess what? I'm about that business. I'm outworking everybody at my position. I know that right here, right? But I'm doing day by day. I'm doing things every single day. Commit to the dream.
Even the cameraman was like, hey, wait a minute, is that Dak Prescott? All right, so Anto, what's your biggest takeaway from Jameis's hand-filled speech to the kids at the football camp?
Number one, I love Jameis.
I do, too.
His speeches need so much work, his motivational speeches. I feel like a motivational speech entails a lot of things. It entails voice, like what's the bass? What's the tone of your voice? I think Jameis is cool there. It entails passion. Jameis kills the passion. Like, he gonna get you hype, but the delivery be so suspect sometimes. I just like, if we could just sharpen the delivery, I would be all in. Like, he got the voice for it, he got the passion for it, but then you really listen and you listen too much and you're like, what'd you say? But I love Jameis, so I'm going to ignore all that right now.
Oh, really? You going to ignore it? I can't ignore that. Hey, jury, forgive everything you just heard. No, I can't, y'all.
I love him, man. I do.
What?
My biggest takeaway is that Jameis is going to have the #1 overall pick resurgence that we've seen from so many former #1 overall picks. I remind y'all, Carson Palmer, #1 overall pick to the Cincinnati Bengals. He did some great things in Cincinnati. Took him to the playoffs, but most notably never won a playoff game for Cincinnati. Goes to Oakland, and that just was awkward. 2 losing seasons, got up out of there. Carson Palmer enjoyed his greatest success when he was in Arizona with Bruce Arians. His third destination, his third stop, that's where he went to an NFC championship game.
That was his best? You don't remember Cincy, Carson Palmer?
Statistically.
Before the knee in the playoffs?
He was a beast. The most touchdown passes he ever had.
I'm with you.
And went to the NFC championship game. Wow. So, like, instantly he did some things, but if you're just purely looking at statistics, most success in Arizona. Alex Smith. And in San Fran, he had some bad years, some bad, terrible years. Yeah. He had 1 season with more than 11 wins. 1 season in San Fran, but some bad years. Goes to Kansas City, 3 11-win seasons. Goes to Kansas City, throws for the most touchdown passes he had ever thrown for. So Alex Smith, his second destination, he enjoyed his greatest success. As asinine as it sounds, statistically speaking, Peyton Manning enjoyed his greatest success in his next stop. It sounds crazy, but purely statistically speaking, not opinionated, he had a more prolific offense in Denver than he ever had in Indianapolis. Even though I don't know. Statistics though. I know you played against him.
I'm coming to join you. You just said what?
Statistically,
I know he had that 55 touchdown year.
He had that year. 55 touchdowns. The most he ever had prior was 49. Goes to 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. He went to 2 in all his years. And he won 1. I know, but it's the reality. The reality is so many former #1 overall picks enjoy greater success at their next stop. Jameis Winston will follow that track. I'll end my first lap very simply. Jameis Winston is one of 8 quarterbacks to throw for over 5,000 yards in a season in NFL history. The 8 names like that, Dan Marino, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and you got guys like Jameis Winston in that category of 8.
Special.
So with that being said, Sal, it's like Jameis got the talent, and now he has an opportunity with the coach who I think will groom him. What I take from that speech is it's time for him to take off.
You took something from that speech after your intro?
That's right.
That speech was special, but the special your grandma says. You know, grandma, oh, that boy's special. That was one of those speeches. I had that take, and I didn't want to go there, but you did, so all right, it's out. Jameis, work on them speeches, bro. I mean, if I'm on his team, I'm clowning. Oh, no.
The passion,
look, from
the voice.
We already, he comes to the plate ready to give a speech. It's already 2 strikes because he ate the W's. Once you eat the W's, dog, you got to come perfect. Point.
But the passion behind eating W's was strong. The voice behind eating W's was strong, but you just can't eat W's. Like the content.
Yeah.
He just needs a content fix.
Yeah, look, shout out to Jameis Winston, who I do respect. Shout out to Otis Leverett, my boy, my former teammate, who's a beast. Love that dude who trains Jameis Winston. Respect for them and their whole camp. Love it. That said, I think Jameis Winston is suffering from something that actually benefits me, which is I get better as a player every year I'm on TV. You know why? Because all I do is talk. So when you talk, you can get in front of a bunch of kids and say anything. Them kids going to be just happy Jameis Winston in the building. And Dak Prescott sitting there like, you ain't outworking everybody, bro. And if you are, this is what's sad about this. See, I'm a realist. If you are outworking everybody, and you're in this position, Jameis, right now, which you were a backup, 3rd stringer, and now you're fighting for your job, probably going to get it. But still, if you're in this position, you've been outworking everybody, that's not saying a ton about your talent, because that talent, if it's meeting with all that hard work, what stops you, Jameis Winston? Oh, you don't want to address that in front of these kids, do you? Well, I want to on our show. My grandma always said, baby, you can't make sense out of nonsense. And Jameis is up there trying to make some sense out of nonsense. Just admit it, Jameis. It's been a roller coaster ride for you in terms of your career, the evolution of your career. Now, I love your point at the end, and this is what I want to highlight for Jameis. Your next stop could be your best stop, which is this situation right here in New Orleans coming from Tampa Bay. Peyton Manning threw 15-plus interceptions in each of his first 5 seasons. We know who Peyton Manning became. Brett Favre, most of NFL history in terms of interceptions. 6 seasons, he threw 20-plus. We know Eli Manning. We know John Elway even threw double-digit interceptions every single season of his 16-year career and became John Elway. So don't let that stop you, Jameis. But also be real, bruh. I hate when people always want to highlight they good. I worked the hardest. I'm here. I responded. Why'd you get there? I'm that kid in camp. Why'd you fall off? And I need to hear it. Because, Jameis, you're 28-42 as an NFL starting quarterback. 1 winning season, 4 losing seasons. Most interceptions in the NFL since you've been in the NFL. And never took a team to the playoffs. So until Jameis Winston wants to profess his ills as much as the things that he thinks are going to go well for him going forward, I don't think that's a healthy mindset. The kids need to hear the real dope, pure and uncut. They don't need to hear you how you gonna be when they don't know how you work.
But Big Dog, he said, I went from being the #1 overall pick to everybody laughing.
And how? I'm that kid again. How that happened? But what happened was...
Here's a problem. I told you, Jameis Winston gives the delivery. It's his content, the suspect. You can't take everybody through the lower lows on the way in a motivational speech. You know that. Hey, what? They bigger than us. They faster than us. They better than us. They smarter than us. They look better than us. They girls are more attractive than us. But we gonna get this W. No, you ain't got time for all that.
But he up there
trying to motivate him.
He's talking personal triumph. You have to have that disparity. If you're #1 and right now you're trying to be #1 again, something happened in between those 2 #1s we need to talk about. If not, you're not filling in the gaps. If not, why did we get you here, Jameis Winston? I just want to talk to Dak. Dak just got $160 million and has never fallen off. I want to talk to him. You hogging the mic, bro. That's what somebody said. Pass the butter. Pass the mic if you're not going to keep it 100.
Here's the thing. Even if Jameis ain't keeping it 100, let's keep it 100. All right, let's do it. Because keeping it a buck, you spoke real. Jameis has some very down years, and we all know that. Yeah. But let's talk about Jameis Winston's good. Second most passing yards in NFL history through his first 5 seasons. Jameis Winston, Bucs had a top 10 total offense in 4 of his first 5 years as a starter. Top 10 in passing yards when he came into the league. And passing touchdowns from 2015 to 2019. It's a whole bunch of good there. What we can at least take is this. If Jameis is working hard, and we know he's incredibly talented, then what we have to assume was him and Bruce Arians, the last few years or the last year, it was a bad combination. Like, it was it's like if 2 incredibly passive people get together, it will look okay at times because they're not going to argue because they're both very passive. But the problem is it will all boil up together, and there will be some good, but there will be a lot of bad because they won't know how to have any conflict resolution. Jameis and Bruce Arians are both big arm, big gun, big-minded people. It looked good at times. 5,100 passing yards, 30 touchdowns. But then they also had a whole lot of bad. 33 interceptions. Give Jameis Winston his perfect counterbalance and Sean Payton, and I think we will see his best.
Boy, these kids are getting tortured at these camps by these pros showing up. Cam Newton somewhere sitting there like, hey, hold my beer, Jameis Winston. Why you go to a camp and mess things up like this? I give it to you like it was given to me. I saw Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin, the gospel dude?
Yeah, that's my
gospel
dog.
rapper. That's your dog, you know?
Big bro, yeah.
Okay. All right. He said this, and this is...
Don't slander Kirk. I'll walk off set.
Dog, don't slander anybody.
I'll walk off set.
Whatever. No, this is positive.
Okay,
I ain't gonna talk about what his son filmed him doing, which his son was running wrong too. All right, here we go. He said, hey, hold on, you can't be gospelist and then want to fight. We can't do this. He said, I can impress you talking about my accomplishments, but I can impact you
talking about my
showing you my scars.
Talked about it.
Jameis, you gonna get in front of these kids, man. Impact them kids, homeboy. Peyton Manning is a Hall of Famer. Trevor Lawrence has not had a snap in